Okay, so today we're introducing surface area. Think a little bit about the words, okay? What do you notice about the word surface area? Surface meaning the outside of something. You know, when you think about the surface of the floor, it's the top of the floor. So the surface of this cube is the outside, and we're referring to the area of each of the surfaces. So in this case, we are referring to the area of this surface, which we often call a plane, the area of this plane, the area of this plane, and of course they're opposites. So you've got the front and the back, the left and the right, and the top and the bottom. They are all the surfaces of the cube. And of course surface area simply means to add all those together. Now, in this particular case, because each cube is the same, so each surface is exactly the same, when we go to do the surface area, we just actually have to work out the area of one of the surfaces, but we then have to simply multiply it by 6 because there happens to be 6 of the same surfaces that make up the cube. Because you remember back to your primary school days of nets. Okay, if I had a cube, doesn't matter which way I do it. Okay, but I have 6 cubes. When all those are bent over and put together, I end up with I have 6 squares, and when all those are bent over and put together, I end up with a cube. Where a lot of errors are made is people go 4 by 4, which is fantastic, and just go times 4 again. That is not surface area, that is volume of a cube. This is find the area of one of the shapes, and that shape is repeated 6 times. Okay, so once again, rectangular prism, same idea. You've got the top, and of course its bottom, which happen to be the same dimensions. You've got the 2 sides, left and right, happen to be the same dimensions, and you've got the front and the end, or front and back, which happen to be the same dimensions. So when you go to do the surface area, because a rectangular prism has different measurements, whereas a cube of course has all the same measurements. Okay, if I do the top, I got 12 by 5. And it repeats itself down below with the bottom. Then I've got, for example, the sides, okay, which is 4 by 12 or 12 by 4, does not matter. And of course it has its other side, which is repeated. And then of course I've got the end and the front, which is 5 by 4. And it's of course doubled, and you add all them together and you get your answer. Quick little way to think about it is, as a double check, no number should be repeated twice. And this is what I used to always do when I was at school. As a double check, I would go through and I'd go, okay, 12 is done twice, 5 is done twice, 4 is done twice. I haven't repeated any of the numbers more than twice, so I'm pretty accurate that I know I'm on the right track. And of course, each of the shapes had to be doubled because there was a top and a bottom, or 2 sides, or front and back. Now, once again, do you have to put this line of working in? No. Would I prefer you to? Yes, because it just saves any silly errors, especially when you're doing your textbook work. In an exam, different story, because often it's only worth 2 marks and that extra line of working isn't going to help. But when you're doing your textbook work, it does help, because at least then I can go to you, well, listen, this is where you made a mistake. It was a silly mistake. You know what you're doing. It's just, you typed in the calculator incorrectly. All right, can I suggest before you check this one, do it yourself, then watch the rest of the video or quickly fast forward and see if you get the correct answer. Okay, noticing, again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you the 3 different shapes that all repeat each other. Sometimes if you are in an exam and you're under pressure, just doing those 3 different colours can sometimes help. So you've got the 25 by the 12, and you've got front and back, 8 by 12 for the green, and again it's doubled, and the top 25 by 8, and of course there's the bottom. And as your little double check, 25 is mentioned twice, 12, 8, so I know I haven't accidentally done the wrong dimension somewhere.